The Competent Leader Manual. Today here at Trusty Talkers, I'm going to be sharing with you information about the Competent Leader Manual. When you first join Toastmasters, you get 2 manuals in the mail. You get your Competent Communicator Manual and your Competent Leader Manual. Now the Competent Communicator Manual, sometimes called CC, is moderately obvious in that it's about doing speeches. You usually would do it pretty much in order, and it's about doing 1 speech at a time for 10 speeches. When you complete it, you get a CC award or a Competent Communicator award. At the same time, you get a CL manual. Now, the CL manual is similar and it's reminiscent in that it has 10 projects. However, those 10 projects are broken up into multiple tasks. In fact, it lists 45 different tasks in the manual. Now, unlike the Competent Communicator Manual, when you're expected to get through every single speech, you don't do all 45 tasks. You do between 21 or 22, depending on which one you choose in the 10th project. Now, most of these projects, or most of these tasks you do in these projects, are things that you would normally do in a normal Toastmasters meeting. It could be an R counter. It could be doing a speech role. It could be an evaluator. All of these things count towards projects in the manual. Now, one of the other important things in here is that you don't have to do it in order. Because it's different tasks that you're doing during a meeting, you can certainly go forward and back within the manual until you've completed all the different things. Now, each one of these projects, for the most part, give you a choice of a number of different tasks you can do to complete the project. For example, in Project 1, Listening, you get to do 2 of 3, Speech Evaluator, Tabletop Speaker, A-Counter, or Grammarian. Any 3 of those. Now, it's interesting to see that the leadership projects go through in order to try and give you lots of different leadership skills from different points of view. Some of the tasks are repeated. You get to do Toastmaster, General Evaluator, Evaluator multiple times. Matter of fact, General Evaluator appears the most often with 6 different possible places. The first project you do is listening. This is important as a leader to be able to listen well. Make sure that you're not making judgments until you've listened to the whole thing, and make sure it's active listening so that when you are responding back to the people, that you are giving them a paraphrase of what you heard them say and they can understand it. So when you're doing a role like an evaluator, you want to make sure that you're showing that you've paid attention to the speech. The next project is critical thinking. In critical thinking, some of the tasks that you learned in listening are going to be repeated, but you can certainly jump into it sooner. In critical thinking, you're going to want to make sure that you're paying attention and thinking things through properly, making sure that you're weighing all options before you go forward. There are a number of different possible roles for the critical thinking as well. The project after, giving feedback. It's very important in Toastmasters for feedback. We believe extremely strongly in feedback. Feedback should be done as soon as possible. It should be done often written and verbal, especially when it comes to speeches, as well as lots of verbal evaluation when it comes to meeting roles and other activities that you do within Toastmasters. Time management. We think it's very important to stay on time because as the future leaders and potential leaders who are trying to get better at their job, it is important that we know how to keep on time. We want to get through our topics in a timely manner and make sure we're not wasting time, nor are we going so short that people wonder, well, where's the rest? The 5th project, planning and implementation. This is where you're going to spend some time figuring out what you want to do and going through with it. There are a number of special projects involved with project number 5. Chapter 6, organization and delegation. Now we're starting to get more into meat and potatoes of what you think of normally as leadership. You want to be able to organize what's going to happen. Maybe it's a special meeting or something else, and get other people to help you out with it. Delegation is an important role, and it's one that can be difficult to do until you've learned better how to do it. One of the ways is to go to each person and say, this is something I think you can do well. I'd like your help with it. Can I count on you to do it? Facilitation. This can be the Toastmaster of the meeting facilitates the meeting. There are other possible ways that you're going to facilitate things. You're going to make sure that they happen. this is actively taking part of doing this different facilitation. Project 8, motivation. How do you get people to do things? Well, you set direct goals that they should be trying to achieve, that you want to see them achieve, and you're going to give them lots of positive feedback to try and get them through it. Project 9 is a special one. It's considered mentoring. Mentoring is where you help a new member or an existing member with a process. Usually it will be through 3 speeches, but it could also be through 3 of the projects in the CL manual. Or another option is to being on a committee for the high-performance leadership process, where you would sit on the committee and help someone through their leadership goals. Finally, team building. This one is the one where you have a choice of whether or not it's going to be a meeting-based roles or it's going to be a special project that you're going to do as chairing, perhaps a contest, or you might be a webmaster, or you might be the newsletter editor. There are all sorts of reasons to get through the CL manual, but the CL manual teaches you a lot of fantastic and important leadership skills. And if you follow through with it as you're doing your CC roles and doing your other club roles, you will find that the CL manual will help you a lot and you will get awarded as a competent leader.